Whenever you're rejected from something, the door is closed, this is protection. How can you surrender and then expect God to work on your timing? I'm gonna surrender this to you, right? How can I surrender if I'm also taking control? Anyway, I did everything that I could. It seems like I'm qualified. Like, why was this rejected? I was so confident this morning. I didn't know I was gonna get tested 10 minutes later. All these hiccups that you go through in life, it's to practice your faith. Like, do we serve the same God? If he can do it for me, he can do it for you. Welcome back to Quality Care Podcast, where we talk all about self-growth, self-care, sisterhood, life lessons. Like the one I just had this morning, this is actually a very, very spontaneous episode. I wasn't supposed to film today. This wasn't on my list, but the one thing God has been putting on my heart, I feel like a lot of people probably need to hear, okay? And I know there's somebody going through this right now, and it's something I'm actively going through right now. So I was like, let me talk about it, okay? I have no outlines. As a type A person, I'm like, I need to see the bullet points, but I'm just gonna talk, okay? Just from the heart. I'm gonna do that, okay? So today we're talking all about the waiting season. When doors are closed, when you're rejected from something, when life is not going the way you want, when your year is not going the way you want, when God has called you to something, but then he's like closing doors to the things that you think it's supposed to be, and you're like, why am I here? You told me to be here. Why aren't things working out? Basically, that's what we're going to talk about today, because that's something I literally went through this morning. One thing is, this studio I'm in right now, it's actually a studio. So that means like I only come here for work. I don't live here. It's a studio space. No, it's not a 1-bedroom. I have a kitchen, bathroom, and then like this living area space. I got this exactly a year ago. That means my lease is coming to an end soon. So I was like, what should I do? Before, like in January and stuff like that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to renew this lease. So I'm going to stay here one more year. In the beginning of January, God made it so clear. He said, no, you're not. You're not going to renew this lease. You're going to go somewhere else. And I was like, okay. And it's somewhere, I had to take a gulp for that I did not ever want to move to. I kept saying, I don't see myself. So when God said this, I'm like, are you sure? And it's a big move for me, because although I'm going to be here most of the time, it's far from home. Okay. So when I was thinking about this, I'm like, okay. So slowly he started giving me peace about it, and I accepted. I'm like, okay, there's going to be more opportunities, especially like, just like the things that I do, social media and everything like that. And so I've been looking at apartments, and I've been looking the past month, because I got this like in June. So I'm like, it took me a month to process it. I'm like, are you sure? Then I was like, okay, fine. And I found somewhere in the middle to find an apartment. So I've been looking for apartments over and over and over. When I tell you, since July, I have been looking at apartments every single day. I have not passed a day where I did not look at apartments. One thing about me, I get hyper fixated on things. So I literally was sitting down for hours and hours. I still do. You'll see why. And hours and hours and hours. And I'm just sitting looking at apartments on Zillow, apartments.com. And I am hyper fixated. In between like the videos I need to post, the ads I need to film, I am looking for apartments. I kind of stopped scrolling, and now I'm scrolling on Zillow. Like, that's how I'm like, my lease is coming to an end. I want this to overlap so that the furniture here can go straight there, and I don't have to get a storage room. Like, everything, I'm trying to take control. If you know where I'm going, I'm trying to have control in this situation, okay? So I'm like, I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do this. This is exactly how it's gonna go, and I'm gonna get things right. Today, it's been almost about a month since I've been looking for a new apartment, and I'm like, okay, it's a studio. The bathroom needs to be nice. This. I have like certain criteria, okay? I want it to look nice. And so this past week, this one thing popped up on Zillow. One thing about Zillow is like, when you're looking at apartments, things start to drop. So like, people are moving out. They're posting new things. You have to check daily and just refresh. So about like last week, I'm like, wait, this can't be true. For the price, for what they offer, for how it looks, the amenities, I'm like, wait, why is this so much lower than the 1-bedroom? Like, it's like a studio with a den. So it's basically like a small bedroom studio. I mean, a small 1-bedroom apartment. And so I was like, Okay, I could have 2 different rooms, and the times I go, I could stay here. When I tell you, I made up this whole thing in my whole head, exactly how it's supposed to go, right? And it's been about a week. This morning, I said, okay, I'm gonna do a virtual tour. I scheduled a virtual tour. I went on the virtual tour. I said, oh, this is perfect, perfect. And I asked her the exact questions, like, is this the true? She's like, yeah, this is the actual thing. Like, this is what we offer. I'm like, okay, I like this. I'm gonna apply, right? She sends me the link. I apply. When I tell you I'm happy, applying, everything, clicking, putting my name, putting my email, phone number, all of this. And I'm like, okay, payment. So the last step is this thing called a deposit. You have to put a certain amount of deposit so that you don't ruin anything. And if you don't, you get it back at the end of your lease. And I remember this whole week, this is when it started. I remember this whole week praying to God, God, if this is not your will, make this hard. Let this not go through. And I remember praying now about 3 weeks ago. Okay, I've already prayed this. I've already said I'm gonna surrender this to you, right? How can I surrender if I'm also taking control? Anyway, I get to the payment part. I have my card. It has everything is going through on other things, right? But for some reason, it wouldn't go through. It would not go through. I did it over and over. I called the leasing office. I'm like, it's not going through. Is there another way? I'm going over and over. When I tell you this is the perfect apartment, I've already had set in my mind where I'm gonna put the couch. This is how crazy I am. Where I'm gonna put the couch, how I'm gonna decorate it. I already started looking for beds. Literally exactly where it's supposed to go, how it's supposed to be decorated. I started looking for lights in the bathroom, so it's a nice lighting. This is in a span of, 2 hours. Because I'm like, this is mine. I'm like, in Jesus' name, it's mine. I'm doing all this, no doubt. I am on the last step. The lady's on the phone with me. Like, we're together. As I'm pressing, it's not working. And I tell her, she's like, well, what you could do is send me the stuff and I can apply for you because someone might take it, right? Might. As soon as I press payment didn't work. I'm talking to her. I press one more time and it says unavailable. I'm like, wait, did I do it? Like, maybe my card has been taking that deposit over and over and over. And maybe it was me. No, it wasn't me. She goes, oh my goodness. Someone submitted the application the same time as you. The same time as me? What do you mean? It's been a week. Nobody's touched it. Like, how can somebody else take it the same time? And she goes, oh, I just got the email from the other person that they submitted their application. What do you mean? When I tell you this felt like, I don't know. I've been in competitive sports. Like, I used to play basketball for years of my life, okay? I don't like talking about that. But anyway, I used to play. And I was the player that was in most of the game. And so when you've been playing all the game and you're winning and everything goes through, and then the last quarter, the other team just goes and just keeps scoring. And then you lose by 1. You thought you had it in the bag. You thought you had it. And then the last minute, it was pulled right under you. Like, it's like the rug being pulled right under you. That's literally how I felt this morning. Defeated. That's literally, when I tell you the anger, my skin was hot to the touch. I'm like, what do you mean I almost had it? Like, if I even waited, if I did it 10 minutes earlier, I could have had it. That's my thinking process. And then I was just thinking, like, was this for me? A lot of thoughts, like, God, I thought this was it. Like, this is exactly what I wanted. Not exactly. The bathroom was okay, honestly. Maybe God has something better for me that's, like, bigger than this. And I also had that in the back of my head. I'm, like, trying to talk to the lady. I'm like, ma'am, are you sure it's not me? Like, because I submitted it over 10 times. She's like, no, I'm sorry, it was someone else. Like, we do have other ones. And the other one is, like, double the price. I'm like, I'm not doing that. When I tell you I was so angry, I did shed a tear. I did. Because it just felt like you worked so hard. Like, looking at apartments is actually exhausting, honestly. Like, I love the process and that I'm able to do this, but it gets to a point where you're like, oh my goodness, this is taken. You're like, I like this. The next second it's taken. And it's, oh my goodness, like that. It just felt like I thought I was done with this, but I wasn't. And so I'm like, why did this door get shut? Like, I did everything that I could. I have everything. It seems like I'm qualified. Like, why was this rejected? Or why didn't I have this opportunity? And I'm like, you want me to go here? I thought I had the perfect apartment. And then it didn't work out. Make it make sense. Like, at one point, like, I'm learning to have a relationship with God. That means you could be angry. You can be sad in front of him. You could be happy. You could be excited. And so I'm trying to practice those things. So I was mad at God. At the beginning, I was like, why did you do this? Like, what was the point? Then I calmed down. Okay, I talked to my friend. My friend was like, what if the neighbors stank? What if there was a leak, like water leaking from above? What if this was like, they made us so cheap because things weren't working in there? What if there's a witch next door? Witch! That calmed me down a little bit. And it made me realize God could have been protecting me from something. And I know he's done that to our lives. Like whenever you're rejected from something, things doesn't work out, the door is closed, you get a heartbreak, somebody ghosts you. Like this is protection. Like I really think of that. And I know every single time what I believe is when one thing doesn't work out, it's not meant for me. Like God is he has somewhere for me. Like this apartment sawdust, nobody else touches it because I'm preparing it for her. And maybe this apartment was that other person that just applied. And if it doesn't, it will come back. Like there's so many things in our lives, whether it's relationships, whether it's school, like you got rejected from a school that you want to go to, whether it's like a program you want to go to, so many things, failing a test and you didn't get, that career that you're supposed to. Like for me, I was actually supposed to be a personal trainer and before social media. And so there's two types of tests. One is like to do actual training. The other, I think, has like diet and training. So I did the training one. I failed it. And when I tell you I studied for that for so many months, I went to class. And the fact that like my professors were like gassing me up, like, okay, you're really good at this. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pass it. And I didn't. And I'm like, at that day that I failed that test, I was like, what am I supposed to do? Graduation is next week. How did I fail this? It's like a license. And I'm like, okay, fine. I think I have to do it again. The reason I failed it was because I was supposed to do content creation. Like, it makes sense now. We probably have to wait like months to see why God even did this, like why the situation is going on. Like, you have to have unshakable faith. And the funny thing, the hilarious thing is this morning, I actually had a devotion. Well, it's not a devotion. It's like 21 days of prayer. They do prayer every single morning. They actually give you like a booklet, like a handbook thing. And it guides you to how to pray, like a year devotion, which is like really cool. And this is my first time doing it. And this morning I woke up for that. And guess what the sermon was about? It was about having unshakable faith. And she was saying how this is
that way when that thing doesn't happen, it affects our faith. But if my faith is in the God who does the thing, when the thing doesn't happen, God doesn't change. The Bible tells me in Hebrews 13:8, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And if your faith is based on
that was literally the prayer time this morning. The prayer time this morning is, how can you surrender and then expect God to work on your timing? First of all, God does not work on human timing. He has his own timing, okay? He doesn't work on what you want at this time. If you say, God, I want this by 5 p.m., you know what he's gonna give you? That by Sunday at 7. That's literally what she said. And I was like, yeah, it's not by my time because he knows best. He knows what's good for my future. And so that's what I was thinking this morning. I was like, okay, I was so confident this morning. I didn't know I was gonna get tested 10 minutes later. When things don't go your way, it might not make sense at this time. It doesn't. For me too. I'm like back to apartment hunting. But I think hearing other people's testimony, other people, what they're going through, it helps because I'm like, what should I do? I'm like, I'm not looking at apartments for the rest of the day. And you know, God's grace never rests. Because the way I needed somebody to tell me their testimony, and as soon as I opened TikTok, there was a video. This is the only video I watched. And I took it down because I'm like, not took it down. And then I got off the app because I'm like, this is all I need. Basically, it was this lady. Please, look how God works. It was this lady telling her testimony about how God gave her an apartment. Out of all the videos, that's the one video that I first get on the app. That's the one I see. She basically was telling about her apartment, that she lived in this apartment for LA with her 2 roommates, 3-bedroom for 7 years. And God told her to get out. She didn't know why. And then She's an independent contractor. That means she's self-employed, just like me. Look, God cares about the smallest things because I'm like, how is her situation like mine? Basically, when you're self-employed, you don't have pay stubs. So everything is so hard to get. So like cars, apartments, they make it extra complicated because we don't have pay stubs like normally. Some months I don't get paid. Some months I get paid quadruple. Like it just doesn't have like a pattern or the same things. It's not really as stable, but it will be like, it's stable when you get to a point, but it's not stable as in you get the same amount every single month. So that makes it hard for you to get approved to apartments. I mean, as long as you have a good credit score, all of that, all of the logistics. But she said that she's self-employed, so it was hard to get a new apartment. So what she did was she put her stuff in storage, stayed with her parents, and she was like, God, you know, I'm not getting approved for my dream apartment. I'm done. But she was talking about how God's grace like extended because there was this random guy at like, not random guy, her friend told her about this guy that was transferring his lease because he's moving. And it was the price range that she wanted. Not only that, it was huge because he had it like the same time as like lockdown. So there was like this huge discount and it was not customized, but it was better than she thought. Like the apartments, it wasn't her dream apartment, but it was exactly what she needed. Like God met her where she needed. When I tell you, I sat down, I think she told the story, it was like 10 minutes long. I'm like, I needed to hear this because hearing other people's testimony on how God works in their life and the waiting season and feeling like, is this what I'm supposed to do? Like having that faith, he works on his own timing, okay? Not ours, on his own timing. If you do surrender, I mean, if you do it on your own timing, you know, that's a different thing. But it's the fact that I said, oh yeah, I surrender. I surrender it to you. Then proceeds to go and have control in my own way. And when things don't work out, I already surrendered and he's trying to do his own thing. And it doesn't make sense because it's not on my timeline. That's insane. Because pick one. Pick whichever lane you want to go to. Because that's the one thing I kept repeating to myself. Like after, first of all, I had a discussion with God. Like right after, I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, I really thought I had this. Like it literally ruined my day in a way. It didn't ruin it. Okay, I switched it. But at that time, I'm like I'm done. Like at one point I was like, I don't want to do this. No, I don't want to. But when we go through these things of not having what we want at the time that we want and it doesn't work out, there's something better for us. And it's so hard to even think about it because I'm even saying it right now. Like I'm not gonna find a new apartment. Like it's something, this situation can go for so many bigger things that's happening. Whether a family member is sick, whether you're, going to freshman year of college. That was one of the hardest things, honestly. So if you're in your fall semester, freshman year of college, it will get better. And God's timing is exactly where he put you exactly where you're supposed to be. Because his timing is better than ours. And he also, like, whenever I feel like, oh my goodness, like what's happening, I go back. And even in the Bible it says, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. That means he wants your future to be good. So when things don't seem good right now, it will look better later because it's on his timing. That comes with surrendering. That comes with obedience. When I think of like, I don't even want this in the first place. Like this idea came a couple months ago and I'm like, now it's not working out. No, he knows what he's doing. He's cooking something. And I can't wait to come back to one of these episodes or like my YouTube videos. And I'll be like, oh, moving day. I found the apartment. Because this is what is called having hope. When you don't see it, when I don't see what's supposed to happen, like, and I still have hope, that's called practicing your faith. Practicing your faith is such a big thing and something I'm learning because all these hiccups that we go through, all these all these hiccups that you go through in life, it's to practice your faith. Because if you don't use it, you lose it. So practicing your faith is such a big thing. Having hope and not quitting when you want to. I think the difference between someone who's successful is that they didn't quit even when things didn't work out. They kept getting up. They kept trying again. And that's what I'm learning and to do. And I feel like I've been getting better at it, but this is it's an example. This is a way to practice my faith and be like, God, I've seen you do it for others. You could do it for me. Because one thing is, if you watch, I love A. Wilkie. I think her name is Alexis, but her handle is A. Wilkie. In one of her YouTube videos, she was talking about how people are like under her comments saying like, oh, you're too big for us. Like, we can't relate to you because you're buying all this designer and you're getting a house and you have the boyfriend and the car. And she was just like, what God do you serve? Because if he could do it for me, he could do it for you. Like, that's coming into prayer and like having faith. We should leave with expectancy, okay? Expecting that God would do this for us. Obviously, on the other side, it comes with, giving him glory, obedience, living a life that, honors and glorifies him. I think he got us, okay? So when she said that, I was like, I love that, because she's like, what God do you serve? Like, do we serve the same God? Like, because if he can do it for me, he can do it for you. And honestly, the reason why I even wanted to make this episode is to give someone the encouragement. So don't quit. Whatever it is that you're feeling discouraged about, whether it's class, whether it's a business, whether it's work, finding a new job, finding an apartment like me, okay? Don't give up. There's so much that we could do in this time. We could take it as a lesson. We could take it as practicing our faith. We could take it as trusting in God more. And these things happening to us, if we really like practice our faith like a muscle, when we go through those big hardships, family things, health, all of that, we've already been practicing our faith through these small, like, materialistic things and all of that, that when those things that matter, I mean, all these things matter, but when there's bigger things that seem like a big elephant in front of us, we know how to handle it because we've been practicing our faith. So I just wanted this episode to be an encouragement, something like that was very quick, something I'm still going through, okay? And if you do have like a testimony like this, let me know, because I feel like your testimony can help so many other people too. I love reading when people have like praise reports or like, this happened to me, but I got this, I overcame this, I was here last year, and like, look, I am now, like where I am now. That's the kind of content, honestly, I listen to all the time. It's so encouraging because it's like, you see it, you also learn not to be jealous and be happy for others, because you're like, oh my goodness, it's happening for them. It can happen for me. That's such a good way to think about situations, because this is a way, honestly, also, this is a way to ask God exactly what you want, telling him, writing down a faith board. Actually, another thing to practice too is on the 21 days of prayer, there's this thing in the back of the booklet where you could write down prayers, and you write down the date of that you asked for this. And when it's answered, you write down the date that it's answered. So this is praying and having faith with expecting God to do what he needs to do. Obviously, he's not going to be all of it the exact way that you want. He's going to do it the way he wants, okay? So, but still writing down like the date that you wrote it down, and then seeing when he answered this prayer is so encouraging, because the next time you pray now, you could be like, you've done it before. He can do it again. Same God right now. Same God back then. Honestly, I did not have this energy this morning because I felt so discouraged, but I had to remind myself with these things that something better is coming. Something better is coming. It's coming, okay? Even for you. If you feel like so discouraged right now, you don't even want to move. Get up, girl. We got this, okay? He will give you that energy, that hope, that reassurance. Even if you can't see it, it doesn't look like it, this is our opportunity to practice our faith. And I just wanted to tell you that, encourage you today. And I wanted to actually tell it in real time, because that hits different. When someone's like, something just happened and then they're like, it's going through it, I don't know how it's going to end up. We're going on this journey together to see and find out. We're going to find out together, okay? And everyone goes through this. There's not a single person on earth that doesn't go through something that's like very discouraging, very like, you saw it. Like, when I tell you, like, I felt like the apartment was right there and I went to reach and somebody was like, Like, that's literally how it felt. Even like relationships, I know that hits hard, because things like, materialistic stuff, like you'll find another one, they'll restock, you'll find another apartment. But when it comes to like dating somebody, especially for a long time, going through a heartbreak. Like, why did this happen? I've been through that a couple of times, and it's like, why did this person ghost me? Like, does this person not want me? There's a reason. There's a protection. Okay? This is something to learn and grow from. So each day it will get better. As I was saying, each day it will get better, but you have to put the work in. That's the part that we can't just leave alone. We're not gonna be like, it gets better, but do the same thing every single day. Your actions have to change. Something has gotta change. So I really hope this episode helped you. It encouraged you. It was something quick because it is a solo podcast, but I will have other guests. Most of the time, it's only gonna be me on this couch talking about what I'm thinking. But honestly, like not having bullet points, I felt like I needed to say exactly what's on my mind, which I like. And it went exactly how I wanted it. And I think I said exactly what I needed to say. Okay, the Holy Spirit really put some stuff out there. Because as I was talking, it was actually helping me. Like even right now, like it was helping all of us. But thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more episodes every single Wednesday. Not every single, I keep saying that. Every other Wednesday. So every 2 weeks, an episode drops, whether it's me solo podcasting or I have somebody else on this couch. Okay. So I really appreciate your support. Like, you don't know how much it means to me, especially other people coming from like my regular YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, like pages here to watch it. I really appreciate it. And this is something that's growing. And I just want it to be like a knit community, a sisterhood, a close-knit sisterhood community. I literally repeat this every single episode, but this is the kind of space I wanted just to really speak what's up here and to really get to know you personally, honestly. Because like, this is something deeper that we can all relate to. Like skincare stuff, yeah, we can relate to that, but does everyone have dry skin? No. Some people have combination, some people have oily, but these life problems, I feel like majority of us, maybe all of us go through these things. And so I wanted to talk it out like we're sisters, okay? But thank you so much for watching. If you want to keep up with my regular content, check out like my YouTube. I post every Monday on that. Travel stuff, self-care stuff. My TikTok and Instagram, I post every single day, like daily. All of those things down there. It's all in the description box. But so thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in 2 weeks.